laptop. My laptop is getting full heat, overheated. It is instead of charging full, but it is not fully charging. It's okay. I'll let it go on. It is in 47 percentage. If it is go to 48, then good. If it is go to 46, that's very bad. Guys, in a storage virtualization, uh, centralized virtualizations like so centralized storage like in NAS and SAN, iSCSI also comes here. Okay. Also, okay, central storages also we can comes with the virtualization means mainly SAN. SAN means is a storage area network. Storage area network, iSCSI type storage. Okay, what is iSCSI? Internet SCSI small computer system interface. So system interface. So these are a type of storages. These type of storages we call it as. It also comes under storage virtualization. How it is possible? A SAN or iSCSI storages are there because it's a blocked storage. Block storage. Block level storage. Exactly. It's a block. It is a block level storage. Understand the block level storage is very simple. Again, I'm trying to explain it again, which is already explained in a storage classes on. See, it is a storage bay. I have a storage bay. So using a RAID or anything like I use to create a volumes inside. So total storage. Now, for example, I have a certain server or maybe some desktop or like that it is there. Okay, this is my storage file server or a storage server. Then read important questions only. Then why should we take it? Okay. Okay. See, in the storage bay, in the storage bay, using this server. So whatever it is, application server like a NetApp server or a storage server, iSCSI server, iSCSI target server. So whatever it is, we created disk space and attach it to our server as a like a local hard disk. So for this hard disk, sorry, for this server, okay, this hard disk is look like from if you look at from the server, the hard disk is like a local hard disk. The hard disk is like a local hard disk. Okay, but actually this disk stores in your central location only. It is nothing but a simple virtual disk in your physical volume. But for this machine, it is look like a local disk only. It's like a object level storages. So virtually you have a disk, but physically you don't have a disk. The disk is in some different location. This concept also we can add it to your storage virtualization. So by the name of storage virtualization, I covered a little bit of at least almost more than 50% of your storage class again. Okay. Okay. Next one is network virtualization. next one is network virtualization. So what is the network virtualization? Guys, look at here. Two things are very important in a network virtualization. So remember. Okay. See, here it is. This is my server. This is my server. I have a NIC. Remember, I have a NIC. What is the use of NIC? To connect to the network, right? NIC is it to connect to the network. Okay. For example, this is a switch. This is my NIC. NIC use it to connect to the network. Simple, right? So NIC, Ethernet card or LAN card, all names are same only. Okay. Two is always like that. Okay. Now this is my, for example, this is my a web server. This is my web server. Okay. These are all accessing the website from my machine. These are all accessing website from my web server. Okay. How they can access? Through my IP address. They put IP address or a name. So request come to my server. I'm giving web pages. Guys understand? Guys understand or not?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. If in case my NIC is down or wire is down or NIC is down. So simply here we take NIC is down. Okay. NIC is down. Okay. Once again explain. Okay. Good. See here it is. This is my web server. Just a web server. Okay. A web pages are there. Okay. Just a server. Okay. You know DHCP, DNS, right? Anything. Not only web server, you can take any server, something which provide a service. That's it. These are the client pieces accessing the server. These are the client pieces accessing the service. Maybe DHCP service, DNS service, or a web services. So how communication will goes from the client to server? Request go to server through NIC with the help of IP address or a name. Anyway, IP address. Request go to server through the network through NIC with the help of IP address because destination is IP address. Then server understand your request, it reply back to you. So you'll receive the reply, right? So what is the physical component here for both incoming and outgoing?
NIC card.
NIC card only, right? Very good. Now the thing is NIC is down. What will happen?
Service stop.
Service down. Very good. Server is not down, but only NIC is down. But still, service is down. You cannot able to access the service, right? No DHCP service, or maybe DNS service, or maybe web services, maybe Active Directory services, maybe WDS services. Obviously, when NIC of the server is not working, it's like a down of your server also, like a server down only. Why? Because of service is not working. This is simple. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm adding a multiple analysis. I'm adding a multiple analysis. Guys, it's a layer by layer again. Just like last class, it's a layer by layer type. Understand layers. So I added a multiple NICs and I connect all these NICs to my switch, means through network, switch or whatever it is. So switch only. So usually, so I connected all these NICs. So all four NICs in single server. Four NICs in a single server. Four NICs, single server. Okay. Now, what I'm doing is I combine all these NICs as a single team. Individually, physical NICs, but I create a team and I put a name of this team is team 1. Okay. I put a name, some name, any name you can put it. Okay. Team 1. I combine all these NICs, physical NICs. Logically, I'm combining all these physical NICs into a single team. Guys, understand? There are NICs, one physical machine, multiple NICs. Okay. But logically or virtually, I create a team and I assign all these NICs to the team only. All NICs, one, two, three, four, four NICs in a single team. Understand? Okay. And I assign IP address to the team, not to individual NICs. Okay. Not to individual NICs. I assign IP address to the team only. So any request, any incoming, outgoing traffic goes by this IP address, whatever the NIC it is. Whatever the NIC it is, first NIC, second NIC, third NIC. Every NIC is responded to the traffic. Okay. And every NIC has the same IP address because of team. Because of team. Now see this. What is the advantage of this one? I will explain. See, this is the PCA and this is BCB. PCA sending a request, any of the NIC, through any of the NIC, we reach the destination. So once server understand your request, it reply back to you. Same goes for a B. B send a request. Any of the NIC will take the request. Okay, any of the wire, through any of the wire we reach to the any NIC and we reach the server. Server understand your request and reply to you. It is not always a single NIC should be respond. Any of the NIC can get a request and can give a reply to the destination PC. So what happened here? What is happening? I have a multiple computers, multiple client computers are there. So many client computers are there. Okay. So easily there are share this load. There are sharing the load among these NICs only. So what we are achieving here, load balancer first. Load balance. What is load balance? Lot of requests to the server. The server NIC is cannot handle. If it is a single one, it cannot handle the load. If you have a more NICs, so they will handle the load automatically, right? For example, on weekend go to DMart. Maybe you guys are know well known about DMart, right? Go to weekend on a DMart and weekdays in DMart. Monday morning, Sunday evening. So what is the difference? Monday morning and Sunday evening or a Saturday evening. So what is the difference in a DMart counter? What is the difference?
More crowd.
Crowd, yeah, very good.
Load.
Very good. Crowd. Monday morning, no crowd. Very less crowd are very less. Very, very less. Monday, everybody go to office or any other tensions are there. So Monday, no shopping. Very less. Very, very less. Okay. Less load on counters. Saturday and Sunday weekends, evening mainly, morning is also high, evening very high, full load. And the counters, what they are doing, all counters, all 10 counters will open on a Saturday Sunday. On Monday only 2 3 4 counters only open. Okay, so why? Because of load balancing purpose. Less members, 2 3 counters are enough. More members, more traffic, more NICs are required, more counters are required, right? Same concept is load balancing, it will balance the load. Okay, so we achieve one point is load balancing. Next one is, what is our first problem? I told, if NIC is down, what will happen? For example, my first NIC is down. What happens in this scenario? In this scenario, what happens? 2, 3, 4 NICs are alive, so they will give you reply. Okay, so service is not down, right? NIC is down, no problem. Service is not down. Communication is not stopped. So what is this? We call it as server is down, service is available. What is that concept?
I available.
Very good. Failover or a high available. Very good. Failover or a high available. Failover or a high available concept. So this is a concept called NIC teaming. NIC teaming. NIC teaming. Very important concept, guys. Very important. Maybe in future you are working on a virtualization servers or maybe a clouds kind of stuff. Without knowing a virtualization basic terminology, you go to the cloud. People are going for a cloud. They are not getting much stronger in the cloud. They're losing lot of doubts. Why? Because of basic concepts are missing. Okay, like that. You want to really become an administrator? Know the concepts. Okay, it is useful. That's why these terminologies are very important, and as well as this is also important. NIC team, guys, understand NIC teaming for load balance and failover. So combination of multiple physical NICs into a single NIC team. As an IP address to single NIC team, so we can communicate with all NICs. It load balance the traffic, and if any NIC is down, no problem. Traffic flow continuous. So that is your NIC teaming. In a virtualization, this is also one of the part. Okay. So I'm writing directly NIC teaming. What is NIC teaming? Combination of NIC. I put a physical NICs because and create NIC team. Create a NIC team. Like that, multiple NIC teams also we can able to create it. Okay, this thing is not completed, so you can create multiple NICs. Okay, so you can add a multiple NICs to your server, depends upon your server operating system and hardware. So you have a multiple NICs. This is, you can put a team too. You can put a team too. This is team 1, this is team 2. What is the advantage of having a multiple teams? Okay, guys, look at here. This having its own IP address again, different IP. Yes. This is a team 1, team 2. This having one IP, that is having another. What is the advantage of having a teams? For example, I have a multiple services are there. So forget about yeah, okay. Web services, File services, FTP service is also there. Both are there. File service is there, web service is there. I want people to access web service from team 2. Okay, I want people access the web services from team 2 and file services from team 1. Now what happened? Different services, different teams, different loads. Okay, so fully load balanced and failover. Depends upon how many PCIs you have. Normally PCI, PCI onboard PCIs are there, and as well as riser cards and all. Mostly we can add 8 NICs only, not more than that one. So in general, I'm telling, not more than 8 NICs, as you know. It depends upon server, motherboard, and your operating system also. Virtually also 8 NICs. Virtual machine also can add 8. This one having 8 NICs, we can add it. Like you can see, add a more NICs. You see, it is 4 NICs are added here. 4 NICs are added here. This is my vSphere server. 4 NICs are added. See, 4 NICs are added. Okay. So I created a teams inside also. I created teams also. Okay. Guys, understand NIC teaming? And diagram is not neat. Otherwise, I can save the diagram also. Okay. Yeah, it's 52%. Okay. It's getting charged. So next one is next concept. This is, so we can achieve high available, or what I said, failover and load balancer. Load balance of traffic. Okay, like this. So what is this high available or failover? If any of NIC is down, still able to access the service. Load balance. What is the load balance?
Control traffic.
Yes, you can able to accept more traffic. Okay, load balance, or we can say balance load of traffic. No, no, no. Sharing of traffic. Sharing of traffic on NICs. Okay, this is called a load balancers. Next one is virtual network adapters. Virtual network adapters. Guys, I'm not just doing just. I will tell this point anyway. Just I need a 2 minutes. Okay, just relax the 2 minutes. Just I'm pausing. This conference will now be recorded. Okay. Look at here, guys. This is my physical network. For example, I have a router or a switch, whatever it is. I have a network. Okay, I connected to my network. Okay, finally I connected. I have internet, so physical network. So no need of this part. Simply to understand, this is the physical network. Okay, guys. Hello. Is anyone is there or relax means completely slept? Whatever.
Yes, sir.
Sleeping. Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. See, here it is. This is my physical machine. Physical machine is connected to network through NIC, right? So this is NIC. For example, my PC is connected, or a server is connected to physical network. Physical network. Now here I having a what I have two virtual machines are running. For example, VMs. Okay, this is a virtual machine. Machine means usually having a NIC. Machines also having a NIC, virtual NIC, some virtual NICs. Now these machines VM1 and VM2 want to communicate outside of the network. Want to communicate outside of the network. Outside means to other PCs. To other PCs. They want to communicate any PC in the network. Okay. Or their virtual machines. Or their virtual machines. Got it? What is the question? These virtual machine want to communicate to the machines which is connected to physical network. Which is connected to physical network. Okay. How they can able to connect? By using a virtual adapter inside. By using a virtual adapter. Okay, different names based on a different technology. I am talking in the Microsoft way, in a Hyper-V way. I am talking. Okay, so like this it is connected. So these virtual machines are connected to this virtual search, and there is a bridge between this NIC to this virtual search. Bridging, this is called a bridging. Physical NIC to this switch, bridging is there, and these virtual machines are connected to this virtual switch. So this type of virtual switch is called as a external switch. Okay, it is called a external switch. Okay, so what is this external switch? Again, guys, look at here. We'll take you some green thing. These virtual machines can communicate each other through this switch, and virtual machines can communicate it to our physical machine. Okay, and the virtual machines can communicate it to our physical network. It means it can communicate it to our other PCs and those who are in the things. Okay, like this. Understand this one? To whom it is communicating. So this is a external switch. It is nothing but a virtual adapters. Next, it is a physical network. These are the virtual machines. Virtual machines can communicate it through physical network through this external switches. Next, it is the same diagram only, little different. That's it. Same thing. There is a physical NIC always. Okay. And for example, this is PC3. Okay. Actually, you have to take one example only. Now, never put in names. VM1, VM2, VM1, and VM2. VM1, VM2. Okay. Now, in this scenario, I'm creating a internal switch. I'm creating switch that is called a internal switch. It is also a virtual switch. It's a virtual switch. Very simple virtual switch or virtual adapter. These virtual machines are connected to this internal switch. Now what will happen? Again, so we'll take a green color. This virtual machine to virtual machine communication is there. Next, virtual machines to physical machine communication is there, but no communication to no virtual machine communication to physical network, not there. Okay. So if you are connected to internal switch, you can communicate between one virtual machine to another virtual machine, but you cannot communicate it to physical network or any other PCs in the network. Guys, understand internal switch or not?
Yes, sir.
Internal switch, actional switch, only last switch, Hyper-V switches. These are all Hyper-V related. Someone asking a question. Okay. So NIC is there. So NIC is there. Okay. Yeah. Next one is private switch. So what is this private switch? See, look at. This is my VMs. Okay. First one is VM1. Next one is VM2. And I created a private switch. Okay. I created a private switch. And these virtual machines are connected to private switch. Okay. Now again, same thing. Virtual to virtual communication is there. Virtual machine to virtual machine communication is there. But virtual machine to physical machine, no communication, no communication. And virtual machine to physical network, no communication. It means it's a purely private network. It is purely private network. So it is, say, I said private switch. Okay. So it is like it's a private switch. And multiple private switch we can able to create it. So for example, this is my private switch one. Okay. This is my private switch one. Okay. And I'm creating, for example, I have another virtual machines. Okay. I have another private switch. Okay, guys, I put a two virtual machines does not mean only two virtual machines. Okay. Just for an example, I'm taking two virtual machines. Okay. This is virtual machine 3, virtual machine 4. So here it is. This is another private switch, private 2. Like this, multiple private switches we can able to create it, and we can connect the machines to private switches. So what happened? Those who are connected to this private switch are communicate each other. Those who are not, they can't communicate each other. Simple. VM1, VM2 can communicate each other. VM3, VM4 can communicate each other. Okay. Yes, understand? But virtual machines cannot communicate it to your physical machine, and virtual machines cannot communicate it to your physical network also. Physical network also they can't communicate. Now just for fun, I'm creating a another private search. Just for fun, I'm creating another search, and there is a virtual machine. This machine, okay. So first scenario is not that one. So first scenario is like this. Look at here. I have a virtual machine, and this virtual machine having a two NICs, and this is connected to here. This is connected to here. Understand? This is another virtual machine 5. One NIC is connected to this private one, another NIC is connected to private two. What happened? If I can communicate to VM1, VM2, VM3, VM4. Okay, like that. So like depends upon how you connect it. Okay, to understand this concept, diagrams only is very helpful. Not a statements or not a directly you're doing also it's little bit confused, but diagrams is quite easy to understand. So as for the Hyper-V, these are the type of virtual switches. Virtual network adapters. Next one is virtual switches. Any name you put it, but these are the types. External switch, internal switch, okay, private switch. What is this external switch? VMs connected to external switch. Okay, VM connected to switch can access physical network. Guys, directly I'm writing these sentences for our understanding. Okay. Usually I will take a definition and all their definitions also there with me. Okay. In your PPT also there. So what is actional search? What is actional search? Internal switches. What are the internal switches? VMs connected to the internal switch can access physical machine but not physical network. But all the scenarios, virtual to virtual communication is there. VMs connected to private switch to a private switch because it's specifically a private switch. Internal switch is only one we can create. No, so internal switch no guarantee. Only one switch per physical NIC or a team, either team or NIC. For a physical NIC, like you have a one single NIC, single actional switch. Two physical NICs, two actional switches. But you combine two NICs into a team, again one switch only, like that. Then connected to a private switch, cannot access physical machine and physical network also. but commonly virtual to virtual machines can communicate each other. Multiple paired switches can create. Okay, so this is about your analysis. In VMware, also we have a VMware vSphere switches also available. Switches, certain terminologies also there. Now it is okay. In a VMware also we have a certain terminologies is vSphere terminologies, but I am going with a VMnet one like that. VMnet zero like a host only type. Host only means like a private. Okay, host only type means private type. Bridge means actional switch type means physical network access. Next one is NAT type. NAT type means physical network access with NAT IP address. Okay, in a VMware workstation, VMware like that, VMware virtual machines, we have a NAT type is also there, right? You guys, some of you already use a NAT type. I think your Windows entirely we use a NAT type only. Physical network with a NAT IP addresses, network address translation type. You can access the physical network. Next one is bridged network means you can access a physical network directly with using bridged network. Okay, bridge or a bridged network. Host only. It is like a private network. So virtual to virtual communication. Private means virtual to virtual communication, no physical network communication. It is a physical network communication. It is also a physical network communication with a NAT. So this is a another three type of network related things also there. Okay. What is another one? Guys, remember in a VMware vSphere, okay, uplink means physical NIC. Uplink means physical NIC. As I'm able to show you that few things, guys. There is a video how to install a VMware vSphere and the environment also I explained earlier. So better once you are free, you can go through one. Just play it. That's it. Okay. I will explain now. So many times I will show the screen. Look at the screens. That's enough. Okay. So VMware vSphere uplink means physical NICs, but there is a things is like always is like PM ports. If I switch on, it will take so much of time. Okay, port member, not number, member, not this one, not this one. Port group. This is important. Okay, this is another terminology. Port groups, how to assign. Um, yeah. One more word, so don't go with all the things. Why I want I don't confuse. I don't want to confuse you. One more is like a virtual. LAN, right? What is VLAN? Virtual LAN. Divide a single physical LAN into. Uh, Already I'm in a tension. Divide your physical LAN into small LANs. Small VLANs. Okay. So actually it is divide. If you can understand, okay. If you don't understand, it's still no problem. Okay. So divide a um, divide a single broadcast domain into multi broadcast domain. People who knows the networking switch kind of stuff. Okay. I simply say understand the VLAN. Yeah, I don't want to disturb this one. I want to save it first. I want to finish it, and we have to go for a two three things are there. Na? I said I will show you Hyper V also. Guys, anybody need an explanation for a NAT or other things? NAT, host only, bridged, which is I've written. Okay. Guys, if you take a switch, understand this is a switch, and you have a computers in the network, and I have another switch, and I have a computers in the network. Okay, listen very careful because it's very simple. Okay, see, this is a switch, and this is a switch. Switch or whatever it is. Switch one, switch two. Okay, these are the PCs, PCA, PCB, whatever it is. Now tell me how many LANs in my screen? How many LANs? LAN 1, LAN 2. How many LANs are there?
Two.
Two LANs are there. Okay. LAN 1, LAN 2. Two LANs are there. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I connect directly this switch to that switch. Now tell me how many LANs are there now? Hmm? How many LANs are there?
One. Only
Single
one.
LAN only. So
Single.
yeah. Earlier it is separate LANs. When you are connected a two LANs together as a single LAN or a single segment, this is also called as two segments separately. Now there are become single segment only or a single LAN network only. Okay, so it is simply a single LAN. Okay, you guys understand, no? Extended star topology like this. Very good. Now, what is this VLAN? VLAN is simply say I divide this switch into different groups like this. So, for example, this is a one VLAN. Okay, this is the one VLAN. VLAN one, VLAN two. This is VLAN three. For example, VLAN three. Okay, here also same thing. This is VLAN 1, VLAN 2, VLAN 3. Okay. So in this one, how many LANs are there? Only first one only. Don't go with the second one. At least first one. How many LANs are there? One, two, three. You have a three LANs in a single LAN. Single switch, but three LANs. Earlier, single switch, single LAN. Two switches, two LANs. If you combine, it become single LAN only. Okay, but here it is single switch, three LANs are there. Okay, and here it is. If you see, here also single switch, three LANs are there. So that is a virtual LAN capacity. Again, I'm going back, guys. Tell me one last question is, these are not connected, right? So this is a LAN, LAN 1, LAN 2. Two LANs are there. Okay. Each these LANs will communicate each other or not? Like this.
No.
They won't communicate each other. Okay. This PC cannot communicate this PC. Why they cannot communicate? Because they are not connected, physically not connected. Right? Same concept again. Okay. This is the LAN. This is another LAN. This is LAN 1, LAN 2, LAN 3. Virtually, I divide this switch into three LANs. Okay. Now, for example, this is A, B, C, D, E, for example. You know, A can communicate it to B, C can communicate it to D. E is a single PC. Okay. A and B cannot communicate C and D, and cannot communicate E also. Okay. So this is not communicating, not communicating, not communicating, because there are separate LANs. Like a, they are not connected, but physically they are in same switch only. Physically they are in a same switch only. So the concept we call it as a VLAN. Okay, VLAN. So what is VLAN? Virtual LAN. So divide a physical LAN, or divide a physical LAN or a physical switch. Actually, not a LAN. Actually, switch LAN into small LANs, small VLANs. So divide a single broadcast domain into multi broadcast domain. So that's okay, because a switch is a single broadcast domain. Switch or a hub, so single broadcast domain. So you want to send a packet to this PC, it will go to every place. It will touch everyone initially. So it is a single broadcast domain. Now it is not like that. You want to send a packet A to B only. It unable to broadcast any other ports. If you have another post, broadcast along with this one only. Um, I will put it like this. For example, two LANs, one LAN, two LAN. Broadcast among this LAN only. Broadcast among this LAN only. But it cannot cross this LAN broadcast. That's it is multi broadcast. So virtual LAN. Divide a single switch into multiple LANs, LAN segments. Multiple LAN segments are a small VLANs. Okay, so this is also, we can say, virtual network virtualization. Guys, okay, same thing only, diagrams only. Okay, storages, application virtualization is there, very small. I will tell about no. Sorry, application virtualization. This is remote desktop. This entirely. That's it. That's enough for this one. So application virtualization, user state. And next one is presentation virtualization, single shot only. I will explain that one.